All right, let's solve some tactics. Okay, so I see rook g7 check. I see knight h6 check. Neither of those seem to lead to mate though. Knight h6 check, king h8, knight f7 check, and knight f7 check, king g7. I don't think so. What about rook g7 check, king h8, rook d7? I mean, does black have a mate threat against me? He has a few checks. He can check on a1, he can check on c3, but I escape those pretty easily. So yeah, how would you stop mate after rook g7, king h8, rook d2, d7, threatening rook h7 and rook g7? You could just move the rook to, I don't know, say b8, then rook h7, king g8. Um, Rook h7, king g8, rook h to g7 makes no sense. So rook d to g7, king f8, and then rook h8 is mate. I must be missing something because it shouldn't be that simple. Rook g7 check, king h8, rook d7. You can't cover h7. Ah, you could. You could play rook a1 check, king b2, rook h1. That covers h7. Anything I can do about that? Then I could try rook f7? No. Maybe rook f7 earlier, so maybe rook g7, king h8, rook f7, trying to get the rook to take so I can play rook d8 leading to checkmate. So rook f7. Yeah, but he just moves away to like a8. And then I don't think I'm really helping. Rook f7 now, no. Let's see. Rook g7, king h8, rook d to d7, rook a1, king b2, rook h1. And I want to just somehow interfere. How can I do it? How can I interfere? I could play knight g7 and then knight h5. That seems probably too slow. Yeah, I think there should be something a lot more forcing here. Knight h6, king h8. Now rook d7. Same threat, or even actually a bigger threat. But now they have the other option of playing bishop e4, I guess, stops it. Yeah, but bishop e4, I can just take it and I'm up a piece. So knight h6, king h8, rook d to d7, threatening rook h7, checkmate. Now the check on a1 doesn't scare me, king b2, rook h1, the knight's in the way. So it looks like you have to play bishop e4, and then I can just take it. Okay, I don't see why that should be wrong. Let me double check one more time, make sure that's forced. So knight h6, you have no legal move except king h8. Okay, rook d to d7. How can you possibly stop that checkmate? Rook f7, not concerning. The rook on a3 can't do anything. He can't get over in time to stop the mate, even if he checks me. Rook c3 check doesn't go anywhere. Has to be bishop e4, and then I just take it. Okay, I think that's good. Knight h6, rook d7, bishop e4, captures. Okay, easy money. Why is this rated 2000 though? Usually if it's so high rated and I think it's so easy, it's because I missed some line that should have been tempting, but I just didn't even see it. Okay, so let's see what the big mistake is here. Big mistake here is playing one rook d to d7. I didn't consider this because, you know, it's just a less forcing version. Like whether you want to play rook g7 or knight h6, you know, it's probably better to do that first with check, right? I mean, rook d to d7, rook a2 check, king b2. Here, I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't look a little sketchy for black, but They're holding everything, right? Wow, look at all these alternate solutions. Crazy. Okay. I see what happens. I think probably somebody calculated one of these alts and they get frustrated and then they just make random moves and then they get it wrong. I've gotten plenty wrong myself like that. Okay, let's make sure the Grandmaster got it. I would imagine he did. It looks like he didn't because the game went on a long way after this. King g8. Ah, he played rook d to d7 too. Look at that. Portugal Open. Okay, 26-12 versus 26-71. Yeah, I mean, again, even if you're a grandmaster, you're playing a game. There's no blinking arrow that pops up and tells you there's a tactic. So, but still, this is pretty forcing. I mean, I would assume you calculate h6. But okay, let's move on. I have an extra queen. That is good. You don't get that a lot on Chesstempo. And what do they have for it exactly? They have a bishop and a rook and a pawn. Okay, so they have full compensation, but if I win a piece, or even if I just win a couple pawns, I would be winning. Everything is very loose. I mean, look, that's such an unusual way that all the pieces defend each other. The knight defends the rook defends the bishop defends the knight. I don't know that I've seen that construction before. It feels like it should be crashing down if I just attack one of those pieces in the right way. Let's see, knight c3, attacking the bishop. The bishop can only move away to protect the knight. And as far as I can see, he can't do that. So knight c3, I'm just threatening the bishop, right? And how can you defend it? Rook d2, I just take the bishop, rook takes, and then the knight on c6 hangs. My knight on c3 covers d1, that's pretty important. Otherwise I'd get back rank checkmated. Knight c3. Boy, I don't see why not. Knight c3. You can't move the knight to protect the bishop because that would hang your rook on d4. You can't reinforce with rook d2. Let me double check that line. Knight c3, rook d2. Knight d5. Oh, look at that. I just gave back rank mate. I said, good thing my knight's on c3, but I just calculated a line where I played knight d5. Okay, so knight c3, rook d2. I can't play knight d5 because it would hang back rank checkmate. So knight c3, rook d2. Yeah, and I can't move the rook off the rank, and I can't move the knight at all. Queen takes d5, rook takes, knight takes, rook takes, leaves me down a piece. Their back rank is actually pretty vulnerable too. What about knight c3, rook d2, rook b1? Threatens a back rank checkmate with rook b8, knight b8, queen c8. But I guess if they just play g6, I'm not willing to give away my rook just for a check on c8. Okay. Knight f6 for some reason catches my eye. Knight f6, gf6. And then I can resign. Knight c3, rook d2. And what if I just play like h3 there? Getting out of the back rank checkmate threat. You can't move your knight because a7 and e7 are covered by the queen. Anywhere else would hang back rank checkmate, right? Yeah, knight d8, queen e7. So you can't actually move the knight. Can you move the bishop? You can't move the bishop without hanging the knight. Okay, yeah, so after knight c3, rook d2, if I play h3, then your pieces are so loose that I still don't think you can save all of them. Knight c3, rook d2. Rook g4. Attacking g2, no, then I just take the bishop. Knight c3, rook d2, h3. Oh, of course there's no rook g4. My h-pawn covers it. Knight c3, rook d2, h3. Well, why not f3? Because usually on Chesstempo there's only going to be one solution, so it's a good idea to understand why it's not another. So if f3, it looks like that creates the same threat. That's a hint that you're wrong. If you see two lines that both look exactly the same. Okay, let me go back to the beginning and make sure I'm not missing an easier candidate move than knight c3. If I can eliminate any other tries, then I'll go for knight c3, h3, because I don't see what's wrong with it. But I also don't see what's wrong with knight c3. f3. Okay, so something besides knight c3 here. No rook d1, of course. Rook e1. No, I mean my knight's hanging, right? Look at that, my knight's just hanging. So, could play, I don't know, f3. f3. They take on e4. Pawn takes. Rook d2. Queen takes knight. And then some perpetual with the rooks. Knight f6. My rook cannot possibly attack that construction. My queen's already doing her best. Yeah, it seems logical to want to bring in the knight. Okay, but maybe it's something that has nothing to do with that construction. Maybe it's queen a3 and hits a rook. No, there's rook b3 with tempo, if nothing else, right? Yeah, just rook b3. Okay, and then take the knight. So I think I gotta start with knight c3, and I'm gonna choose between h3 and f3 after they play rook d2. That's my plan. Maybe I should check for another response besides rook d2 first. I might refute it. Knight c3 directly attacks the bishop. Bishop takes on g2, I'm not scared of. You can't counterattack the queen. You can't set up a fork. Yeah, knight c3. I think it forces rook d2. Okay, rook d2 played. My idea here is h3. But on this move, I really do probably want to figure out why is f3 wrong. If I think f3 is wrong, can I explain why? And also, I need to remember to check afterwards how many people here played rook d or knight d5 and gave away checkmate in 2. I bet it's not 0. I bet it's small, but it's not 0. So f3 it obviously is less intuitive because it seems to expose your king. f3, let's see. You know what I haven't really thought of? I haven't really thought of the response 95. Oh, no, I have. There's still checkmate. Yeah, okay, so I thought about that one. Maybe f3 could be good because they can't play like bishop g2, but that doesn't seem like something to really be scared of. But double check they can't move the knight anywhere. Knight b4, mate, knight a5, mate, knight a7, free knight, knight b8, mate and free knight, knight d8, queen e7, forking mate with free knight. Ooh, but then knight e6. So maybe knight d8's annoying, actually. Yeah, knight d8, queen e7, knight e6. I didn't actually think about that response. That's that throws a wrench in things. h3, knight d8, queen e7, knight e6. And then if I play, queen e8, they have knight f8 blocking. I can still try rook b1 there, but then they're making luft. They're playing g6, they're playing h6. So that's not going to cut it. Interesting. You know what? Actually, rook e1 seems like a really attractive move now because, like h3 and f3, it stops the mate threat. It renews the threat on d5, but now knight d8 doesn't. Well, knight d8 would hang mate now. Okay, so rook e1 seems like the right way to do this. Rook e1, and my threat is back rank checkmate, and my other threat is taking on d5 following by taking the knight, and I think that should do it. I feel good about rook e1. Yeah, like I said, it's a good hint to try to tell the difference between these two moves, f3 and h3. Turns out there is no difference. They're both bad because of knight d8, I think. Okay, so let me just confirm. Rook e1, g6, knight d5, rook d5, queen c6. Rook e1, I mean, what else is there? I think rook e1 should do it. Okay, you play bishop e6. Um, unless there's some amazing trick that hangs a knight on c6. Let's see. Is my knight trapped somehow? That would be terrible. Knight on c or queen takes c6, then rook 2 to d3. Yeah, if nothing else, I could play knight e4, and there's no mate there. Okay, free knight. Okay, not too bad. Okay, so this was by. Okay, so maybe not grandmasters, but like 2100 players. Let's see if they found it. Bishop e5, knight c3, rook d2. Oh, that's so funny. He played h3. He played h3, but I thought h3 didn't work. Let's see. Maybe h3 does work in a different way. h3, knight d8. Exactly right. h3, knight d8. Okay, so that's funny. White played the incorrect move. He missed the win, basically, and played h3, after which he should have only been better after knight d8. Queen e7, knight e6. Maybe he didn't see that too. He played h3, and then black blundered back with h6 and just donated the knight. I guess they didn't see queen e. They both missed queen e7, knight d8. All right, I made 2 attempts on this one. So yeah, this is what I mentioned before. This one took me 9 minutes and 40 seconds, but back in 2017, I got the same problem right in 3 minutes. So I've slowed down a lot. Okay, 2 rook e1 is the point. Blah, blah, blah. They gave some line knight e7. I think I mentioned that line. Where am I? Knight c3 here. Rook e8, knight e7. Oh, this is a different line, but sure. Well, I was just going to take the free knight, but sure. There's also a nice checkmate. Okay, what are the mistakes? Okay, so let's see. Most people played h3. I wanted to know how many people took the knight. Knight takes d5. Oh my gosh, 195 people with an average standard rating of 1873 hung mate in 2 with knight takes d5. Come on. Come on. No excuse for that one. All right, next tactic. Let's see. I have rook g5, king h4, queen d8. Trying to get in there with something. I don't know what yet. Maybe I should look around before I make a move here, or think about making a specific move. Okay, so white's about to queen. Material is equalish. Actually, I'm up a pawn. Rook on e2 is pinned to the king. Of course, none of that's going to matter if white gets a new queen. Okay, so queen d8 and bishop g8 is probably their idea. And then I can't stop queening, right? Well, I could play rook g5 and then take on g8. But it would cost me an exchange. Although I would still have 2 pawns for the exchange, so even then I don't think I'm losing. Okay, so now forcing options. Let's see. Rook g5 is my main check. Do I have any other checks? I have queen takes e2. I think I'm going to skip looking at that one. Rook c4, if I could distract the bishop somehow, sure. I don't know if that's going to happen. Okay, so let's calculate rook g5 first. Rook g5, and let's be ungenerous first and assume king f3, because that seems easy to beat. Then I'd play queen h1, king e3, rook e3. The queen on h1 covers the queening square. Okay, rook g5, king f3, queen h1, king f4. Well, boy, I don't know then. Rook g5, king f3, queen h1, king f4. Yeah, I calculated the same line again and nothing changed. Queen c1 check. That's just random. Yeah, no good. I mean, I feel like if I can't beat queen f3 or king f3, I probably definitely can't beat king, I don't know, f4. King h4 even. Well, endgames could be good for me with that with that a pawn. Queen d8. Does it have a threat? Queen d8 has no threat. Oh, I have f5 check. That's another. That's possible. I mean, f5 check, queen takes f5, rook takes f5, h8 queen is. No, no, no. f5 check, queen takes f5, then I would play queen e2 and I'd make that work. Okay, so f5 check, bishop takes, rook c4, h8 queen, take on e4, bishop takes e4, queen e2, winning a rook. Yeah, so they get a new queen on h8, but I get their original queen and I get the rook on e2, right? So f5 check. I'm not scared in any way of them getting a queen because I'm attacking the rook. Okay, so f5 check, I don't know, king f4 first. I take on e4, rook takes e4. Can I stop the pawn from queening? Yes, queen h1 or rook h5. I have plenty of ways to stop the pawn. Okay, so f5 check, bishop f5, rook c4. Okay, now queen c4, knight c4. Again, not scary because of just or h8 is not scary because e2 is hanging. So f5 check, bishop f5, rook c4, h8 queen, take on e4, take my rook or don't, I don't care. I get your rook on e2. No, wait, I totally do care. What am I saying? That line doesn't lead to me being up material. f5 check, bishop f5, rook c4, h8 queen, take on e4, bishop takes e4, and queen takes e2 is only equal in material. What am I thinking? Well, I'm up 2 pawns. It's not completely equal. All right, there's something there with f5 check, but I need to figure this out. Rook c4 now is crazy. What about rook e5? Rook e5, h8 queen. Take on e4, take the rook. That actually nets me material. Okay. Rook e5, queen e5. Rook e5, queen e5, pawn e5, h8 queen. Take on e2 is equal. Yeah, there's something there. There's definitely something there with that rook being pinned. Okay, f5 check. Bishop takes f5. There has to be something else here. Rook c4, h8 queen. Aha. Aha. f5 check, bishop f5, rook c4, h8 queen. I take on e2. It's not only the rook that's pinned, the queen is pinned. So I just take on e2. That, oh no, it's still not going to be enough, is it? Take on e2. King moves to f4. King moves to f4. Now if I take on e4, bishop e4, again material's equal, so if I play knight d5 instead, does that do it? Does that do it? Knight d5. No, then king e5. Man, this is a tough line. I'm probably misremembering where the pieces are. Let's see this again. Okay, f5 check, bishop f5, rook c4, h8 queen, take on e2, king f4, queen f2, queen f2. I'm still gonna have to give up my queen for give up my queen for the no, give up my rook for the queen at some point. But if I could be up like 17 pawns, that might be enough. Gosh. Okay, let's see if I can get to some endgame that is clearly winning for me. That is all I want. Okay, f5 check. Bishop takes f5. Rook c4. Queen c4, knight c4 is... Oh no, even that. Queen c4, knight c4, h8 queen. Even that one, it leads to equal material. Okay, so the whole idea of rook c4 is wrong because just, I mean, I'm giving up a rook to win a rook, right? Okay, so maybe I'm just barking up the wrong tree. Back to rook g5 check. Rook g5 check. Okay, I couldn't even refute king f3 though. Rook g5 check, king f3. Oh boy. Oh boy. Rook g5 check, king f3, queen h1. King f4. There doesn't seem to be anything going on there. Okay, rook e5 again. Rook e5, h8 queen. Then I would actually win something if I played rook takes e4. But rook e5, queen e5. Pawn e5, h8 queen. Take on e2. Can't go to f4. Any way to trick him into some skewer there? Rook e5, queen e5, pawn e5, h8 queen, queen e2. I don't know, king h3, trying to avoid skewers. It looks like he does avoid the skewers. Gosh. What about f5, bishop f5, rook f5, king f5, queen d6? No, that's a little too much. So many forcing options, but none of them seem quite right. Okay, I mean f5 check, it works in some variation, right? f5 check, bishop f5. Maybe rook c4 is the wrong idea here. Distract that queen, you know? If I can just distract that queen and take the rook, that's all I need. F5 check, bishop f5, rook c4, queen c4, knight c4, h8 queen, take on e2. This line still doesn't work. I should probably stop checking it at this point. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's a shame. I'm very tempted by f5. Okay, so rook g5, king f3, rook e5 now. Does this make a difference? No. It makes a negative difference because now after queen e5, pawn e5, h8 queen, I can't take the rook on e2. I think at this point it's probably something that I've overlooked totally, like a simple new idea. What could it be? What could it be? Queen g1 doesn't do anything. Is there a way to threaten rook g5 as checkmate? No. I mean, I could try queen h1, but the queen takes. Let's see. f5 check, bishop f5, rook f5, king f5. Just silly. f5 check, bishop f5. Just no good. No good at all. I might be stumped on this one. Nothing works. Rook h5, I don't know. Queen d8, g8 queen, or bishop, queen d8, bishop g8. Now f5 check. I mean, yeah, sure. Queen d8, bishop g8, f5 check now wins the queen. And they probably can't afford to make their own queen. Because I play like queen g5 check, king h3. Is there actually a mate there? I don't know that there's actually a mate there. Queen d8, bishop g8, f5 check, queen f5, rook f5, h8 queen. Rook g5? Rook g5, king h3, take on g8. It nets me a piece, right? Because I didn't give up anything to take the queen. I gave up a pawn to take the queen, and then I get the bishop at the end. Okay, so queen d8, bishop g8 doesn't actually work. That's good to know. Queen d8, does it threaten f5 check? If it does, I might just go for it. Queen d8, say they do nothing. I play f5 check, bishop f5. It doesn't seem like queen d8 really helped me there. I mean, it is a passive move. Queen a1, queen a1, h8, queen f5. I don't know what that's supposed to accomplish. Queen d8, queen d8, and then try to sneak in with queen f8, queen h6, queen h5. Even playing a lot of moves in a row there, I don't see a checkmate. Does queen d8 threaten rook g5? No, doesn't seem to. Does queen d8 threaten rook c4 in some way? No. And queen d8 seems pretty useless then. Rook g5, king f3. I don't have any checks except for the one on h1. Rook g5, king f3, rook e5, queen e5, pawn e5, h8 queen. I'm toast. Gosh, this is pretty hard. This is a hard puzzle. Rook e5, queen e5. Any amazing check there? No. There's no amazing check there. Rook e5, queen e5. I can't even play like queen a4 check or something. Man, I think if it were a game, I would play queen d8 because at least I see I'm stopping the pawn, and everything else I'm not sure about. I mean, f5 check, bishop f5, rook f5, king e5, or king f5. Any way to win the queen in a fork there? No. f5 check, bishop f5, rook c4, queen c4, knight c4, h8 queen, queen e2, king h3, knight on c4 can't do much. I mean, I'm up one pawn there. I mean, is a3 enough to win that endgame? I don't know. All right, f5 gets to a better endgame. It's not winning. I'm basically using this as a give up button. 16 minutes is a little excessive, so f5 check. Expected to get this wrong. Oh my goodness. f5 check is correct. So now I have to figure out what I missed as I play out the line. Well, rook c4 was the only move I really looked at. I looked at rook f5 too, but it doesn't seem to lead anywhere after king f5. Taking on e2 is nonsense. Knight d5 is pointless. I mean, rook c4, h8 queen, take on e2. Maybe I didn't give this its due, because they have to play king f4, which is not probably ideal. And that really does leave me up 2 pawns. So if rook c4, h8 queen, then take on e2, king f4, take on e4, bishop e4, queen f2. That endgame legitimately should be winning up 2 pawns. Rook c4, queen c4. Looks like there should be some intermezzo there. Rook c4, queen c4, knight c4, h8, queen, king, or queen e2. I don't know, something like f3. If f3, maybe I have knight e4. Okay, knight e4 is a nice detail because king f4, queen f3, and if now knight e5, I would have a skewer with queen c3. The queen is very skewerable on h8. All right, I'm going to go rook c4. Rook c4, he offers me to just take the queen. If I take the queen, then he promotes. Then I take on e2. He takes on e4 with the bishop. I recapture, then I won some material. So I think this really should be good enough. Queen d8 check would spoil things now because of queen e8. So maybe I probably missed a key line here, but I think I'm going to get this one right by playing rook takes e4 now. Okay, rook takes e4 now. Yeah, this one was a tough one. I don't know what the correct answer is after queen takes c4 here. Yeah, and it's a shame when the problems end up like this because queen c4 is pretty much the same evaluation as king g5, but it wasn't played, you know. Okay, so queen c4, knight c4, h8 queen, takes, taking on an f2. Why did I not see I was winning 2 pawns? I guess I did there at the end, because that's when I thought about f3, right? f3, knight here. This is the line I was thinking of. Okay, I'm not going to beat myself up about that one too much then, because I think I did see that in both variations, whether it was h8 queen or queen takes c4, I did end up 2 pawns up. Okay, so let's see what the mistake is here. I wonder if anybody botched it at the very end with that check on the back rank. 4, no, 3. Yeah, if anybody played 3 queen d8 check. Oh my goodness, 5 people played 3 queen d8 check. What was the big mistake here? Rook e5. Yeah, I mean, I calculated rook e5, but I didn't see it going anywhere. Like, it wasn't a line that led into some forest of variations that I couldn't see to the end of. It just seemed to peter out. Or at least f5 was complicated and seemed probably to be heading towards a good endgame. All right, let's see if Mr. Okay, Matthew Sadler had black here against Loke Van Welly. Let's see if Sadler found this. Ah, it's ended in a draw, so maybe not. Oh, look at this. Rook c4. Wow, so they went into this endgame, and then, oh my goodness, actually, wow, okay, I thought it was going to be that 2 pawns down endgame, but actually, Loke Van Welly gave up his queen and didn't get a new one, and still managed to draw. Okay, well, this is probably going to be beyond me then. Yeah, I mean, it looks more complicated than I gave it credit for, and black just repeated here. Wow. Okay. I wonder if anybody in the comments has given an analysis of this endgame. Let's see for a3 maybe. Okay, I definitely did not think about. I never would have. I didn't think about them. I didn't think about this position seriously. I saw, okay, in this position I could stop queening, so it should be good enough, but I did not consider this endgame here. a3. What even is a3? Letting them queen? What is a3? a3, queen? This isn't even annotated. He doesn't even consider queening? What's so obvious about this? Alright, that's it. I'm putting on the engine. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Okay, 4, rook takes e4. Let's look. Analyze. I don't even know if this is going to show up. I'll make the moves on both boards in case it doesn't. Okay, so then... Okay, the engine says that queen d8 check, queen a1, a3, and queen c1 all win. So what's the deal here? Let's see if I can see. After a3, they can't queen because what? Queen c1 check, f4. I mean, we're playing down a rook here. And just a2. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. That was pretty obvious. I should have seen that one. All right, maybe I'm getting tired. Anyways, that's enough tactics. I'm on a good streak here. My rating is way too high. This is actually shocking. I haven't gotten a question wrong since wow, a long time ago. I think it was around like 2103. So I'm up like 100 points on one winning streak. So I'm kind of scared. I don't know when it's going to stop. But anyways, thanks for watching. I will upload some more of these later.